Hello, my friends. Assalamu alaikum. Can we ignore God? How about exploring the answer to this question in the light of Quranic teachings? I mean, the Word of God. Let's begin. My friends, the Quran stresses that ignoring God is neither wise nor without consequences. It addresses this through several key themes, and let's explore them one by one. Number one, God as the creator and sustainer. My friends, the Quran constantly reminds us that everything in the universe, including our existence, is because of God. Therefore, ignoring Him is like ignoring the source of all blessings. For example, in chapter 16, verse 53, Quran states, "And whatever you have of favor, it is from Allah." My friends, this verse reminds us that our life, health, and all provisions are gifts from God. These are His blessings. Therefore, ignoring Him is denying gratitude for all these blessings. Point number two, ignoring God leads to an empty life. My friends, the Quran warns that turning away from God leaves the heart restless and life meaningless. For instance, in chapter 20 of Quran, verse 124, it states, "And whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed, he will have a depressed life." My friends, no matter how much wealth or success a person achieves, without God, inner peace and fulfillment remain elusive. Point number three, accountability and the afterlife. My friends, the Quran reminds us that ignoring God doesn't absolve us of responsibility. Everyone will be held accountable for their actions on the day of judgment. For instance, in chapter 23 of Quran, verse 115, it states, "Did you think that we created you uselessly and that to us you would not be returned?" My friends, ignoring God now doesn't erase the reality of facing Him in the afterlife. Point number four, signs of God are everywhere. My friends, the Quran points out that signs of God's existence are all around us, in nature, in ourselves, and in the universe. For example, in chapter 41 of Quran, verse 53, it states, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth." My friends, ignoring God is to overlook the beauty, order, and wisdom of creation, which are constantly pointing towards Him. Point number five, consequences of ignoring God. My friends, the Quran warns that neglecting God can harden hearts and lead to spiritual blindness. For example, in chapter 6 of Quran, verse 44, it states, "So because they forgot what they were reminded of, we opened to them the doors of every good thing. Until they rejoiced in what they were given, we seized them suddenly, and they were then in despair." My friends, material success can deceive us into thinking we don't need God, but such a life lacks true purpose and lasting happiness. Point number 6. God's mercy is always open. My friends, even if someone has ignored God in the past, the Quran emphasizes that it's never too late to turn back. For instance, in chapter 39 of Quran, verse 53, it states, "Say, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves by sinning, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins." My friends, this verse shows that God is always ready to forgive and guide anyone who sincerely seeks Him. My friends, I will conclude by saying that ignoring God might seem like an option, but the Quran makes it absolutely clear that doing so leaves us spiritually lost, emotionally unfulfilled, and ultimately unprepared for the afterlife. On the other hand, acknowledging and turning towards God brings peace, purpose, and a connection to the source of all goodness, that is God. To ignore Him is to turn away from our best interests and the truth of our existence. My friends, with this talk finishes, and I hope to see you soon again. Assalamu alaikum.